Yeah, I remember then the production team whispered in our ears, guys, is this really happening? They need to double check.
They didn't know if it was like frozen on the screen.
Yeah, we also had to check with them, like, are you sure the screen's not frozen? And we got a confirmation. No, it's not.
You see one little strand of hair just like flow in the wind.
Yeah.
Even by just light, you question even if the camera production is working.
That's how you know it's been.
Wow, it's just Light doing his own things.
And, you know, speaking of that, I will say again, Light is always, and maybe this is for most roamers, but Light in particular, and the reason why he was, you know, season MVP back in Season 9 is, again, he is such an anchor for any of the iterations that we've seen from RSG Philippines. And, you know, obviously it's a big thing that can be even said for Rapidu, but I just feel like most of what we see from RSG Philippines is really playing around kind of that roam pressure, obviously, that he puts out here.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of roam pressure, they denied the Harith from game number 1. Oh, sorry, man. They take out the Gord as well. Because on the first part, when we were discussing what could actually pop up in the mid lane or even for Aqua, I was thinking about the Kadita if they're onto the blue side, because that makes total sense because of how Rapid is gaining control mostly on the team fights.
Yep.
I want to see Kadita back again on the map. Especially I use her in most of my games, and that's just a clear way to just completely burst on everybody and invade. And a good thing also to put out is the XP lane ban, the respect also for the EXP laner, which they use all for Nath, since we're not sure yet if what is the role of Edith as of this point.
Yeah, I think it's like that's most likely going to be going on the EXP lane. The gold laner might get picked up here. They can just go ahead and pick up in Beatrix and then just surprise with their roamer pickup if they want to. With Beatrix still wide open, yeah, the safest pick they could go for. They need a little bit more sustained damage. Right now it's a lot of burst. Sustain, a good amount also coming in from the... yo!
It's
Ixia!
Finally!
I did not expect Ixia.
This is why I love where we currently are in the meta, man. I mean, first Gord, now Ixia. Let's go, right? I'm sure there's some Ixia mains out there that are like, yeah!
Yeah.
just cheering.
That's exactly how they sound, right? Yeah. That's just what I picture. I mean, it could be someone else. It's just like, yeah.
Yeah, that was nice when the Gord pop up.
Yeah, no, that's the Gord. Yeah.
You would think it was a string on the guitar. No, it was his voice.
Yeah.
So, Ixia, like, I personally have not seen her in competitive play for the most part, unless she's popped up in another region that I missed that game. Redmar, have you seen her pop up somewhere?
In a game, no, but yeah, and that surprised me that they picked an Ixia knowing that something like a Farza is still open. And now they're really just gonna have to maximize being able to provide space for this Ixia. This lineup puts a lot of pressure on the EXP and the roam, which has to be tanky here.
Ooh.
So yeah, it's gonna be actually a roam Edith.
Yeah.
And an XP lane Terizla.
Yeah, I was feeling that. I was feeling at the moment they banned out the Kadita and as well as the Gord.
Yeah. So now they need to make sure that they have their timings right to provide space for the Ixia because she's so static in her positioning. She's like an Eve marksman version.
Eve marksman version. You know, and it's funny too because she works off like Starlium stacks or something like that. I think it's called like
Siphon,
Starlium or something like that. So then, you know, we were just talking about the Starlium Scythe
She's
earlier.
responsible. She brought the item here, the Starlium Scythe.
She's all about that Starlium. You know? And so... yeah. Same feels. Same, bro. You know, when you see the hero for the first time pop up in competitive play, your brain starts thinking, how is this really going to work out? Because again, we've seen this with some of these heroes that pop up for the first time in competitive play. They don't work out the best, but this is a great change up in the gold lane. Can't wait to see how it plays out. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 3 here, second series of opening day. We'll see if RSG Philippines can close it out or if it's Onic Philippines.
Let's run down the heroes again real quick. This is Nets with a signature Bruno. One of the more memorable plays of MPL Philippines Season 10 was his solo split push as a Bruno. So you know he's comfortable with that. And Escalera on a Farsa, one of its deadliest choices in the mid lane. And Eman already brought super low up against that Bruno. Meanwhile, the bottom lane, RSG actually countered.
he gave Eman a really super low HP and forced out a flicker.
Yeah.
That's crucial, actually, you know, in the course of this early game. And knowing that you don't have that available now,
Rapidude is bouncing on to Nats here, 2 versus 2. Nats falls down. Escalera takes a kill. That's 1-1.
Okay, so now both teams, I feel like, learned a lot from each other from game 1 and game number 2. They're a little bit more confident in terms of being aggressive earlier on, putting 2 or even 3 members onto a specific lane just to force them back. Like what RSG did here, because of Nets doing that to Eman, they needed to balance that somewhat by stacking members on there to force back Eman and get Nets and get a little bit more lane control there for Eman. So I like that these two teams now much more confident in their movements because they understand each other more.
Oh, good follow-up and good game sense there. Light and Erad knew that was just Rapidude looking for a great vision for his team in this early game. Look at the Ryzen, though, using Thorn Rose, trying to poke it. Oh! Okay. Flicker out.
yeah, that's
Light.
That's crucial because not only that, but there's multiple flickers still down here for RSG. This first turtle coming up, they might just opt to give it away, right? Unless they're really confident. Forcing a fight, probably not going to happen. You can see them even being put at bay here by Rapidude.
Rapidude, the 1v1 versus Light. Now look at the knockup. Terrified. Look at that damage. Just connecting onto Rapidude. Erad secures the kill. Meanwhile, we have Ryzen. You're getting busy with this turtle now. I think it's RSG securing the first objective. Light, though, still a good way of advancing with the vision, too.
Yeah, Onic being able to secure the first turtle of that game. Aqua being brought down low. Oh, still an invasion here.
Oh, speaking of vision, look at that. Look, another follow-up knock-up onto Ryzen. Lights still being taunted down by this Fred. Okay, going back to that point, Renmar, go ahead.
Yeah, how Onic set themselves up there because them being able to force out the flicker onto Light. Did we go back to the future?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Wow. This is what the Starlium does, man.
Wow, we are the Starlium boys.
Whoa! RSG now. Yeah, they could not get anywhere near that turtle, and this is now what we're going to be seeing here. Will Onic do what they did in game number 2 and instead go for that second turtle? Just help Nets get out of lane. Will they commit like a 3-4-man rotation onto Nets' lane so that they can push Eman back, get that, and just give the next turtle to RSG?
Oh, good usage there of the Thorn Rose evading Rapidude's possible setup.
Yeah, and even Erad also got the Litho Wanderer there.
Oh, sweet. Erad looking at his eyes onto these objectives. This is completely a good way to just win that against a Kufra.
And now, the next sequence. Yeah, I think now with how Onic are jockeying for position, they might be considering it. They're looking for more information, though, of who else is going to show themselves up in the top lane.
Yep.
If they don't see enough, they might pull the trigger and just go ahead, ultra fast, go up top.
Wow, Cram sustaining 3. Aqua, look at that. The pokes right onto this Uranus. Now Erad secures the kill with the Thorn Rose. Not be able to escape that one. That was 3, though.
It's a lot of response, you know, from RSG Philippines for the most part, finding what they can and also putting pressure of their own around the map because, you know, that's what you expect. Now that these teams have literally duked it out for, you know, 2 games now, and you mentioned it, Renmar, they learned a lot from those alone. You're seeing the fruits of that labor, right, for the most part. Now you want to be able to see them actually contest the remaining 2 turtles here, and RSG is in a great position to do so. They just got to be able to pull it off. But look at this. Irad's not even near it, right? So looks like they got the call. Give it up. They might just be looking for kills where they can be.
Yeah, actually, the reason why RSG cannot contest this turtle is that earlier, if there was an invasion by Ryzen trying to force out the flicker from Erad, and Erad had to use the flicker just so he could get that purple buff.
Speaking of buffs here, no contention. Oh, look at the knockup. Look at the hug. Right onto Erad. Now he escapes the Thorn Rose. Puncture away. Okay, maintaining the distance. Onic on this response, man. 3-man rotation onto this river.
It's only a matter of time before moments like that actually convert into kills, right? Because especially with the fact that, you know, for Escalera, he only has, I believe it is, the Clock of Destiny. That's about all he has for now. So the scaling obviously will really help him in his favor as the minutes go by, especially when he's locked into his next items. And setups like that from Rapidude are going to be a big threat, right? So RSG Philippines has to be able to find their own, obviously. And one thing that we always see from Terizlas, man, is those kind of plays, right? The penalty zone, the flicker combinations. for the most part, you want to see them offensively, not on the defense, right? So hopefully they find that. But now, attention at the top.
Amon being bursted down by the feathered airstrike, but he still sustains. Ryzen, though, trying to secure the skill. He's still maintaining it. No. Ryzen secures the point, but Onic Philippines, though, and another exchange as well. 1-1. Rapidude. The other hand fall down in the hands of Onic.
Yeah.
Oh, meanwhile, on the mid, Irad versus Ryzen, and also Cram. Just rotating quickly as things go and happen up top.
Oh, this is fishy for him.
Oh, he's
Okay,
not
okay.
go yet. Okay, Irad.
Oh, smooth.
Moves and grooves.
Moves and grooves there by Irad to get away. And actually, there that pick off up top eventually. Onic just had to throw bodies at that point to take Eman down. Here in the bottom lane, though, and RSG continue to throw bodies towards Cram because they need to get Nats out of lane.
Ooh, okay. Thank you for that pokes, Irad and Nats just completely Cram rejoicing and holding on to his lane. Meanwhile, the Escalera using the feather airstrike onto Aqua, trying to peel and lure him out of his own turret.
Yeah.
Objective though, we have taken down turret by Nets. Meanwhile, this objective would be so crucial, but Ryzen secures it in the midst of RSG. Irad though didn't have a chance. Nats flickers out for safety. Meanwhile, that's the hold, that's the slow. Onto 2, onto 1. Nats though, he's not gonna escape that one. Ryzen secures the kill.
Tough to get out of that one, right? And still, they're going to have to deal with some of this pressure. Again, Onic Philippines clean sweeping those turtles there. So it was RSG Philippines that was like, yeah, I'll just give them up. We don't really want to contest them. We want to find things where we can, but that just hasn't really, come to light right now. And at the same time, Nets is in a similar position when what we've seen from Bruno before, where you just get to go ahead and knock down these turrets, right? And just continue to scale up really well. He's almost on to that second damage item that he needs, has those Hask Claws already.
Yeah.
So, this is troublesome.
Yeah, on the way to the Fury, Berserker's Fury, and the RSG. At this point now,
There it
it's
is.
just all about Eman. It's all about Eman. Nets getting his item. And now it's all about the marksman, not just Eman, but both marksmen now. Because the rest of the game just went so well for Onic. As for the marksman for both teams, for Onic to finish it, for RSG to make a comeback.
Will this be a comeback though? Look at the force. 2 ultimates used by 2 mid laners here from RSG and Onic, just gaining coverage. But meanwhile, when that is happening, Onic is just taking down this turret up top, and Nets completely taken the second turret up top as well.
So fast.
Just the destroyer, man.
The
of
balls
turrets.
of this Bruno.
Yeah. The ball on that Bruno.
The balls on that Bruno. The damage. The damage of Bruno right now completely rising on the meta.
Oh man, RSG. They're gonna make a comeback out of this. It'll have to be with how they did it in the past 2 games, making the most out of an Onic mistake. But we talked about it. These two have learned a lot from each other after the first 2 games, and that's gonna be Cram.
There you go. Light secures him. He's not gonna be able to escape that one. Nats taking him down. He was just too deep in between 2 turrets.
Cram.
Oh, meanwhile, Onic is here right onto the death bush. That's a setup coming from Rapidude, but then response coming from the burst. Eman using that ultimate, and that is completely full barrage onto the marksman of Onic. Now that's 1 member left. Rapidude. Onic Philippines fall down to their own trap.
Now you're wondering what happened, Cram. That started the whole thing, and Ray Renmar, you called this. You're like, now RSG just has to make punish a mistake from Onic Philippines. I would say that was a mistake from Onic Philippines.
Yeah, that was the worst case of caster's curse I've ever seen in my entire life. We just said it. And
meanwhile, while you were saying it, they were zoomed in on Cram, literally recalling.
Cram was in between 2 turrets, just standing there, like, hey, oh, I'm gone. And for some reason, the rest of Onic was like, yo, let's help him. Oh, we're gone. And perplexing. Perplexing. I am at a loss for words, scratching my head there. But no, RSG, they can rejoice. They made the right call. They were like, oh, he's done. Oh, let's push it forward. And yeah, we can continue this now. And Onic have just all their hard work gone in a snap.
Oh, that's not looking good. They don't need to blink, but Rapidude has a catch, though. That's the taunt. Where's the follow-up, though? The penalty zone onto 1. Iran is on a killing spree. But meanwhile, at the back, we are seeing Cram, though. Oh, Rapidude fall down. He wanted to have a set, but RSG had a good amount of burst to respond.
See, that's where you're seeing kind of the Ixia shine a little bit. I know it's taken some time to get online, but when you're fighting front forward like that, it's tough. Right now, they're focusing. They get the tier 2 down. Emon is just picking up the Malefic Roar, so that's going to help even more. But, you know, so now if you're Onic Philippines, again, when it comes to these defensive fights and you're dealing with this kind of front threat, really. I mean, especially with the way that the starting and marks work and everything, it's kind of tough to deal with, right? Especially when you have when Nets is on this Bruno, now it's time where, like, all right, you have to go from being the demolisher to now you have to start getting these kills, right? He does pick up his own Malefic Roar, so that's great. But again, you're working around kind of getting through that front line, really.
Yeah, Aqua's having a hell of a game right now. 8 assists, no kills, but no deaths. A very clean Valentina game for him. And Onic, yeah, they need to change their approach now and acknowledge the reality of Emon's full barrage on the Ixia hurts. If they don't get the setup that they want or the start that they want, where it acknowledges the presence and location of the Ixia to give it a hard time to free hit, it's not going to go well for your team. They have the right tools to make it difficult for the Ixia, but now they have to acknowledge as well that RSG, they will just throw bodies at Onic. They have the Lance, they have a Valentina who is okay. She's willing to just go in, get close, terrify, Nats as well, Light as well, to set things up for Eman.
That's a good point. Just keep throwing bodies and just have a great way of burst.
Not only that, but just again, the fact that you have to work against having a Terizla that can either peel for you or initiate for you and then still keeping Light where he needs to be, that's what makes it harder, you know, for Onic Philippines to actually find the Ixia here for getting Emon down. And a lot of these situations, once again, really depends on some of these angles that they look for, and that's where you see really teams start to kind of punish or shine with the conceal plays and look for their own angles to go for, and that's kind of what we're seeing here. You can see even Cram not a part of this. Lord is just going to reset for now, but RSG, they do have kind of the prerogative here to start this fight if they want to, right? And getting a feathered airstrike out from Escalera right now kind of gives them this advantage if they want to go ahead and fight this.
Will they go for it, though? Cram on the death bush. Again. Oh, Light caught him. Oh, we're looking at the damage of Emon right now, using that ultimate full barrage right onto Cram. Okay, no ultimate.
Yeah, that's good news for Onic.
Okay, this now will be a good start. Nats with a 3-man penalty zone. Right on to 4. Now he's still sustaining it, though. Whoa, Erad finally secures the Lord. Cram takes down Light as well. Disengage right away. Light was the casualty. Oh, wow. Cautious.
The reason why Bruno is having such a hard time is because, again, it's the idea of RSG just throwing bodies.
Speaking of throwing bodies, he throw his own ultimate there. Good amount of burst as well. For Escalera, though,
I'm pretty sure there's a universe where he got that kill onto Escalera. Yeah, Escalera was just able to get out of the Thorn Rose just in time.
Okay.
All right. As they get prepped up here, again, this Lord going on the top side. RSG Philippines in a good position, even item-wise, to push into the base here. So Onic Philippines, work cut out for them. How do they pull this off? Once again, they got to be able to play around the fact that Navs has the penalty zone. Great thing, though, is he does not have the flicker, so he can't completely surprise them, but Light can, right? We've seen Light do it before, especially with the flicker onward combination. They might just go ahead, you know what? Let's get to our base, deal with this. You can see Cram putting a lot of pressure on the bottom there, trying to keep that under control, leaving the team here to defend in this base as this Lord has to be worked with. They do finally get that turret down. Onic Philippines still holding on to the 2 that they have because of those waves cut. Also in the bottom, they're going to make quick work of the Lord. And so we find ourselves once again at this situation. RSG Philippines still holding on to a relatively big gold lead right now.
Yeah. Still a good wave clear. A good amount of defense against RSG.
Yep.
You don't want to miss. Oh, Rabbit was in a small pixel there. Nats probably he spotted him right onto the bush.
Yeah, I think also acknowledgement from RSG that Light wasn't able to fully check it, and so I think they sent Nats to like, hey, go ahead, can you check that? Force him back, and they did.
Yeah.
And yeah, so with Onic having all the wave clear in the world, now it's going to be a change of pace, and now it's RSG. The question of have they learned from the mishap that they had in game number 1, wherein they were in the lead, they just needed to not do anything too greedy. And now it's just going to be just that. They have everything they need to set things up for Eman to do really well here. They just have to acknowledge that if they're going to dive and enter, if Escalera is able to freely toss outfeathered airstrikes, that's not going to be good news for them. They have to watch out for that. But at the same time, if it's not going to be a flicker onward from light, it's definitely going to be a flicker earth shatter to increase the chances of getting maybe 3, 4, hey, if you can, maybe 5 members of Onic knocked up in the air.
I'm wondering, too, where, what is actually Cram's role here for Onic Philippines, Renmar? I mean, aside from, he's putting a lot of pressure on the on the side lanes, but really, is he just the damage sponge for this? Like, how does he approach these fights here, especially now that this Lord's coming off?
Yeah, it's harder to see now in the late game, but earlier you saw that RSG were throwing a lot of members onto the lane, onto the XP lane, just to take down Cram. I think Onic were thinking of just, okay, they're going to do that. We're going to try to turn our attention to the gold lane to help him out. But obviously, they weren't able to get the dream situation that they wanted. So now he's just there clearing lanes, and eventually he's just going to be going after Eman if the other members of Onic can't get after him to apply pressure onto their marksman.
Okay, well, right now they're getting in position for this. Cram making his way to this Lord dance. Both teams being very careful.
Oh no, Rapido got spotted. Full barrage right onto him. Use the bouncing ball to have a defense, to have a safe passage out. They just forced out a failed airstrike onto Onic. Okay, 3 ultimates down though.
Wow.
Whew. And also, same for RSG. Okay. Same thing as well, but they're looking for a way to get this Lord as well. That's on half HP. 4 members of Onic present. The waves coming in, all lanes present. Who's going to get this Lord? Who's going to get this kill? What is the problem? What is the damage? Irad secures the objective, and Horizon goes with the follow-up now with a change. With a trade, there's a pursuit.
They have to
Look
run.
at the damage onto Nets, connecting it with a full barrage. Look at the response, Emma. Look at the damage. Will be enough though. Oh, look at that full disengage. Nats is the only one who fall down for RSG. No man down for Onic.
Hell of a team fight. Hell of a response by both of these two. The retro battle won by Irad. Onic, on the other hand, they read the situation well. It hurt them that they couldn't get Eman. And that's a testament to Eman's positioning there, that he was alive. Because if he was low and he didn't have that barrage up for him, Onic could have chased down RSG and maybe even wiped them out.
Yeah.
So it's good news for RSG that Eman was able to stay alive there. But don't count Onic out just yet. This is still a very close game.
It's this series alone, we've seen this situation so many times. 5,000-6,000 gold lead for one of these teams. They end up finding wins in certain situations, especially around these Lords, and they can turn things around, right? Onic Philippines, yes, they did have to deal with the Lord, and they made quick work of it. But one thing that was very apparent as this potion has just picked up, Nets damage is scary, right, if you're RSG Philippines. And it seems like it's a little bit, if you're comparing the heroes, Ixia and obviously this Bruno, it's a lot easier for Nets to just kind of pop off and damage, right? And also using the worldwide here. They just kind of also have to wait for that full barrage to really go away. And I just feel like the way that this kind of crit modifier and everything else works with Bruno, it's a lot easier to pump out the damage that you need to, right? So RSG Philippines knows that they have to handle that. I don't know if we see one of these teams really pressing a forced fight here, though. Because now that you're nearing this 20-minute mark, these death timers get a lot more serious. They're actually going to do it on Cram, of all people.
Oh, look at the jump. A good setup, though, by Rapido. That's Nets. Taking down Ear at a crucial pickup. Oh, Onic Philippines finding a way to take out the jungler of RSG.
Yeah, I was scared that would happen. The moment I saw Irad was loading up the animation of the Phantom Execution, I was thinking, oh, Irad, you don't want to do that.
No.
But then it was committed, and Rapidoot and Onic, quick response. Ultra fast with how they decided, hey, let's just go after that jungler, and now it's 5v4.
5v4 indeed. Onic now broke down the second turret in mid. Late armor pickup, though, from Light. They would still want to defend this. 1.2k now in the lead, now completely disappearing from RSG.
They made quick work of that lead that was gained by RSG, and that's what I'm saying. Like, this has been kind of the trend of just the series alone. So they'll go ahead, clear up the lanes that they need to, which is the top side. That turret is down for for Onic Philippines. They'll go ahead, clear that. They'll go ahead and now get in position for this Lord. This is going to take a little bit longer, of course. This is the 4th one, much stronger that they have to deal with. But still, so far, if you're looking at it, RNG Philippines has had a great success at locking these in.
Oh, success. The set now has made by Rapid Dude. The follow-up now is here for Onic to do. Oh, and that's still surviving that. Still, using the Appraiser's Wrap to secure a kill, he forced out the immortality out of Nats. That is just completely insurance for RSG.
Yeah, now RSG are in good position here, but so is Onic. Close enough. Already Rose Gold Meteor picked up by Nets, and also Eman has that on too. No more Wind of Nature by Nets. He used it earlier. That's how he survived the damage brought out by Irad. This could be anyone's game, and it could boil down to one mistake.
Speaking of mistake, Ram is just looking forward to zone the members out of RSG. Meanwhile, Feathered Airstrike's being committed right now to peel the members of RSG. Who gets it? It's Ryzen! He secures the Lord! Now it's go time for damage for RSG. While the next target, it's Nats! Escalera, Eman as well! Making a double! Taking out Cram! 2 members down for Onic, and RSG completely looking for a way to trade that objective.
1-2. 1-2, and their marksman is still up. The Edith is back. They can just clear this Lord real quickly, and somehow, can they? Will they actually try? They don't have the Farsight to go up against. It's just a Fred, it's just a Kufra, and it's a Bruno. Can they actually do this, RSG?
Ryzen poking Aqua, using the Terrify to peel him off. Light those falling low. Ryzen secures the kill, and Lord as well.
Eman alone.
Eman alone just by himself, but Iran is here as well. Look at that, Thoros connecting onto Nets. Full barrage! No damage, no enemy to connect to. Aqua! Taking down 1 from Onic Philippines, and Nets looking for a trade. They're finally getting secure kill. Aqua though. Irad forced out a puncture man, back and forth. Tug of war, Onic Philippines and RSG.
Wow, what a tug of war. You mentioned it perfectly, that back and forth.
Back and forth they went, and you can feel, even those decisions that they have to make, you don't know if they're going to be able to pull it off or not, because Irad looked like he was hungry for the kill, realized he shouldn't overcommit, and this is what we were talking about. Now Irad, once again, look at the damage.
Ow, ow, ow. I am feeling that, bro. Rapid
wow.
And just Nets.
You know, I was so surprised that Nets actually had the Wind of Nature picked up. So what happened was, in that long sequence, Nets used, going all the way back to the start of the Lord, Nets used the Wind of Nature, and then he bought Rose Gold. He sold the Rose Gold, and then bought back the Wind of Nature just in time to not get taken down there by Irad, and it led to this little exchange here. The tension in the air of this game right now, it's absolutely palpable, and it's a hell of a game these two are showing.
I am feeling it by just being here at the caster's desk.
I feel it now, Mr. Krabs.
Well, again, this is our first, well, it's only the 2nd series so far, but it's a great series going 3 games. And it's so far, like if you look at game 1, game 2, it's been back and forth between these 2 amazing teams. And now it's coming down to like who is going to be able to close out this series, right? And some of these interactions between these team fights and everything is, it might seem messy, but it's a lot of just kind of baiting, right? They're trying to get the other opponent or even gold laner to gold laner to try to force movements towards them and then punish that decision, right? That's what's happening here. And it just really comes down to very amazing micro skills from both of all these players, really. Now Light's going to go in for Cram here. Still, they get the Consecrate out. And this is what you expect to see, right? If they can get a pick off before this next Lord, then great. This is the 5th Lord now, so it gets even harder here. And still, they're also working with these lanes, pushing on those side lanes of the turrets that they have. Actually, no, it's only Onic Philippines that has that turret down. No, plus RSG Philippines has the mid one down. So working around that, it's getting even harder here. Now you can see the junglers getting in position. The rest of the teams will look at the bush, though. It could be troublesome. Couple pokes here, and that's going to be a reset.
Yeah, okay. 2 things that we know for a fact. Number 1, Nets will have the Wind of Nature. He'll hold on to it, and he'll wait for Irad or any physical damage dealer of RSG to enter. For Eman, he has the Blade of Despair, and because of that, he's saving his ultimate, that barrage, either for mid or late into the team fight to clean things up. So with those timings understood and known by these 2 teams, they have to play around that too alongside all the other situations around the map that you mentioned nicely.
Oh, light retaliation, that's the flicker, that's the combo. But Ryzen though tried to poke in with an exchange of damage. Eman using that full barrage damage onto Onic Philippines. Responding in, they're gonna retreat back. But still, Nets falls down and has a Virad. RSG gone mad, taking 2 down. And now they force Onic Philippines back to their base.
Wow, what a turn of events there in that team fight. The power of that full barrage to take down multiple members, if not pop the immortalities. Irad to come clean up. Now they're looking to just punch this one in.
Can they punch this one out though? Rapid. Oh, look at the damage onto Eman. Will he be able to make the safety though? Cram as well be in the front line of Onic Philippines. Look at that, still only on immortality pop. Now it's on the base and it's destroyed. And RSG. Wow.